I really like this question because this is about to be a dying premise to an extent. Because with the talk this week about 24 in the college football playoff, and we've already talked about in basketball how it's like, man, if you're a high major and you don't make the NCAA tournament and you care about basketball, it's a bad season, especially now with the expansion. This is going to be a thing that, like, I guess now that it's like this will be non-titled, non-playoff seasons in the future, people aren't going to have an attachment to these as much. And look, some of these seasons we're going to mention, maybe most of the seasons, if not all these seasons we're going to mention, would have been ones that in a 24-team playoff Auburn would have got in. But my thing that I hate is that since the playoff became a thing, it has become you're either in the playoff or it doesn't matter. And I feel like that takes away, what like college football is at its core. Like you could win 10 or 11 games in the year, not get to national championship material, maybe not even win your league, and you'd be like, that's a really fun season. You had, very successful, and I think we have warped that definition so much.
17 and 19 are great examples of that, right? Where it's like the thought that because that team didn't advance to the college football playoff, it wasn't a good season or satisfactory. Yeah. In some way, it's like that's and I'm with you on the like I wish we were back to the old days. Like we could put the toothpaste back into the tube and just be like, we're gonna call a national champion based on like the BC. I like in retrospect, maybe the BCS with an extra round with a top 4 getting in would have probably been the best way about it. Once we start getting to this point where it's just like, all right, it's playoff or bust, like I guess you can expand it to the degree where I could see where that's going to be the thing. But then it just dilutes. Like we're going to talk about seasons, we're going to talk about games and parts about these teams where it didn't matter to a championship picture, but it mattered so much on the day, and I think we're going to lose sight of that. The irony of going from 4 to 12 was that they probably went from a system where not enough teams got into a system where too many got in without stopping at 8, which feels like maybe the right number. And Justin, I know people look at me like I'm crazy when I say this, but if they're going to move the college football playoff to 24, honestly, I would, and I don't want 24. Like, but if you're giving, and I don't really want 32, but if you're growing it to 24, I would prefer 32 with every conference champion represented versus 24. Like with literally every single conference champion getting a berth, and then you figure it out from, because what would that be? 32? That'd be 11 conference champions and 21 at-larges. Yeah. Like to me, and that's too many, but so is 24. And at least with 32 and every conference represented, you'd have a kind of like in basketball, you would have making the playoff as a realistic goal for every team in college football when the season starts. All you got to do is win your league, and you got a chance of making it to the dance. That's not the. Just like in college basketball, more mid-major representation is not the goal of this expansion. Like, I don't know. I mean, aside from the conference commissioners coming out and flatly saying it, I don't know how much more clear it could be that like more mid-major representation is not the stated goal of these expansions. But that's what I'd prefer to a system where 24 and no mid-major representation or virtually no mid-major representation versus 32 with every league represented. I think that the second system. Yeah,
but you could do every league represented without getting to 32.
You can do it at 24, but they don't want it. But of course,
it's lame.
As long as like Disney and Fox executives breathe air, you're not.
And that's the problem is that's what the sport is. And look, there to an extent it always has been, but it's gotten worse and worse and worse as time goes on because everybody. And this applies to so many other things, but everybody's got business brain now. And everybody's like, oh, it's about, are you turning a profit? Or is it like, are we going to cut are we going to cut Olympic sports because, we're not getting a return on their investment? Who cares? Yeah. We got along for decades and decades without having to worry about that. And it's just like, you know what? No, you have a college tennis team because guess what? That's what you do when you're a big college. And it's just like, you're going to see that kind of grow and grow and grow. And hey, is our football team worth it? Is the season successful because we made an arbitrary number